Hi there, Sandra here. I want to tell you this really great story, and it's going to be really important. And the meaning of the story is that the words we use and what we tell ourselves and how we stay grounded in situations really makes the difference. So 2 years ago, not this past winter, but the winter before, in 2019, I lived in the Dominican Republic for the winter. We have a summer cottage where I live mostly in the summer, and then I find somewhere magical to live in the winter. So that was the pandemic year. So I had a flight. My flight was booked to come home in April, but my flight got canceled. Because that's when everything was just, nobody knew what was happening and flights were getting canceled and all kinds of things were happening. So my flight got canceled, and then I knew that I was going to be in this, third world country during a pandemic. And I just didn't know what that landscape of that would look like. So I just felt like, and I knew if I didn't get on a flight soon, because Canada was sending flights to Dominican just to take Canadians home, and the US was doing it, and other countries were doing that as well. So I thought, I just need to get on a flight soon, because if I didn't take one of those flights, I don't know how long I would have been stuck in Dominican. And I couldn't work when I was there, so it was my priority to just get a flight home. So I found out about this website that was giving you information starting at midnight. They would give you whatever flights were going to be at the airport to take you to different countries the next day. So each day at midnight I would look, and so I found one that was going to Toronto, where I lived, at 11:30 in the morning. So I was like, I'm going to get on that flight. Okay, so my girlfriend's fiance was there, and he was my contact there, so he said, I'll come over early in the morning and I'll drive around to find a taxi, because it's not just like there's taxis there. I mean, it's just a different world. And I wasn't in a resort. I was just in a small town, which was wonderful. I had a great experience, just beautiful people there. So I set my alarm for, of course, 6 a.m. because I got to get on that flight. Of course, I set my alarm for 6 p.m. so it never went off. So then I got up at about 9. Okay. And then I'm texting Emmanuel, my friend's fiance, where are you? He was supposed to be at my house at 7. Okay, so nothing is going as I planned. So he gets there, and I'm like, we need to hurry. I'm not going to get on this flight, because I knew, oh my God, there's probably so many people trying to get on these flights, which there were. So he goes, okay, I'm going to go out and try to find a cab that will take you to the airport. Okay, so he's gone. He's out there. I'm all ready to go. He texts me and he says, okay, he comes back and he says, okay, I have one. Okay, fine. They're going to be here in a minute. He gets a text from them saying that their cab won't start. It broke down and it won't start. Okay, now it's 10 o'clock and the flight is at 11:30. However, I have trained myself now to say, I don't know why this is good. Everything always works out for me, so this must be good. Right? So I'm waiting there with the taxi. I've packed everything. The apartment is clean. I'm just waiting there. And then they finally, they text me, okay, we got it started. They're there. Okay, it's 10:30 now, and it takes half an hour to get there. I'm like, oh my God, getting there by 11, really? Okay, but what the heck? I just said I'm going to go to the airport and just stay there as long as I can. If I have to sleep there till I get on a flight, I will do that. So we finally get to the airport, and when I get there, I find out that 11:31 was canceled anyway. So there you go. However, there was one leaving at 8:30 that night. So I was going to be there for 10 hours, whatever. I didn't care. So I'm at the airport, but this one is going to Montreal airport instead of Toronto. But I was like, I just want to get on Canadian soil and I will deal with getting back to Toronto somehow. So I'm sitting in the airport and we're all in line. I get in line behind this guy. They start giving these numbers out and we're just standing there. And I get a text from my friend. Hey, how's it going? I haven't talked to her in quite a while at that time. The whole winter that I was there pretty much. How's it going? Are you still in Dominican Republic? And I said, actually, I'm trying to get on a flight home to Montreal, and I can only get into Montreal airport. Well, she lives in Quebec. She said, we'll pick you up from the airport. You can quarantine with us for 2 weeks. Okay. I hadn't talked to her in a long time. Out of the blue? This is because I keep saying everything always works out for me. And even when something appears not good, I keep saying, I don't know why this is good. I don't know why, and I don't need to know, because I trust that everything always works out for me. So we're standing there, and there's all these people. It's just packed in there. And it's an Air Canada flight. I think it was Air Canada. I can't remember. But anyway, they had all these other people coming in who had previous tickets for their airline. So they got first priority. And then this other group came in and they had first priority. And we're all just waiting in line. And everyone's freaking out at this point because the whole pandemic was new and we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know if we were going to get home and we didn't know how many flights they were going to bring in. And it was just, however, I just kept saying, everything is going to work out. I'm getting on this flight. Oh, I'm getting on this flight. I'm getting on this flight. That's just all I said all day long for 10 hours. So we finally get to the counter, okay? And, I've been kind of chatting up the guy in front of me over the course of 10 hours. What else are you going to do, right? And his wife was in a wheelchair, so she was over somewhere else, and so we were chatting. And so we get to the front, and they say, okay, you need, I don't know what it was, like 1,000 pesos to get on here. What? I don't have any Dominican money. And there's the exchange center at the airport is closed. Everything's closed everywhere. I'm like, I can't get on this flight without this money. And I said to the gentleman in front of me, since we'd kind of, gotten to know each other, do you have that money on you? Would you lend it to me? I could email it to you. I could send it back to you. So he looks in his wallet and he has the money and he gives it to me. Now, I had a credit card that was loadable. So I loaded a bunch of money on it before the flight because I just didn't know how much it was going to be. Like, we just didn't know what was happening. Whatever they said, we would have paid it. So I go and I give them my credit card and it says, you need a password for this. I go, what do you mean there's no password for my credit card? I cannot pay for my ticket. I've been waiting for 10 hours. My credit card will not work. I turned to the gentleman who had already given me the pesos. And I said, would you consider extending your graciousness to buy me a ticket and I will send you the money back? And he said, okay. Now imagine if that taxi driver's car hadn't not worked. I mean, the timing of me being right behind this gentleman in line, the timing that everything that day had to happen, my alarm, my friend being like, everything was working out in my favor. I didn't know how, but I just kept saying, and that is keeping your vibration high and staying in trust, even though you don't know how or why or what the reason is. That's not your job. Your job is to say, I don't know why this is good. Imagine, I'm in the middle of a pandemic. I'm in a third world country. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get home. And the taxi is telling me it's broken down. And I'm still saying, I don't know why. This is good. Let me tell you, that was one of the harder times in my life to say. And it's taken me a lot of time and a lot of training my brain. But the more I do it, the more I see the examples of it being true. So you can do it too, and do it the best you can. It will get easier like a muscle you're working out. And once you see examples of how that becomes true, that'll be a momentum and it'll be easier and easier. So now I'm just in a place where I don't believe anything is bad because everything always works out for me. And if you haven't seen it, listen to my Everything song, and I want you to sing it every day, all day long. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. I've taught this song to my friends. They've taught it to their friends, and it's catching on, and I want you to sing it too, and I want you to say that all day long because it really will make a difference. So I got on that flight because of that wonderful, beautiful soul of a man. And of course, I sent him the money back, instantly. So you can do it too. Everything really does work out for you. Just know that and believe that. But don't base it on everything that's happening externally, because we have patterns we go into about this is bad. No, it isn't. You just don't know why it's good yet. That's all. And remember when you lost that job, or the guy broke up with you, or the girl broke up with you, and you said, this is horrible. And then later you realize, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. You can just skip over there. And keeping your vibration high moves the energy in your favor. You're molding the energy. When you tell the universe what to find, everything always works out for me. The universe is molding the energy around that. If you say, oh God, this is bad, I won't get home. Don't do it. Cut it out. Just put this video back on when you need a reminder, and listen to my story. Because if I can do it in the middle of a pandemic in a third world country when a taxi is broken down, and I can still say, everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Okay, thanks for listening. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so more people can see it and be reminded that everything always works out for them. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. I would love that. And if you want to support me, you can go to my website, sandedolls.com, and purchase one of my products. Making my doll art is one of my passions, and I would love for you to share in that. Well, thanks for coming, and I will be back. Sandra here. Thanks for joining me. If you liked this video, please smash that thumbs up button and share it with others. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I look forward to spending time with you and sharing more stories and tools that will help you live your best life ever. If you'd like to support me, please visit my website at sandedolls.com, where you can purchase some of my products, like t-shirts, mugs, tote bags, and more. The link is in the description. Many of my art pieces correlate directly with my video messages, which I think you'll enjoy. Creating my Sandedoll art is one of my passions, along with providing great content for you. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll be notified of future videos. See you next time.